The Illinois Council on Best Management Practices is a coalition of farm groups, and their overall goal is to improve the quality of the surface waters in the state of Illinois and those waters leaving the state. If I'm looking at a nutrient management plan for a farmer, starting with making sure the pH is adequate, starting with a soil test, and then taking a look at fertilizing every crop every year. So you take a look at a soybean crop, what that removal was, you apply the phosphorus and potash to that. What your corn crop removed, apply the phosphorus and potash to that. Do that early in the fall of the year. And probably stay away from spreading on frozen ground. Stay away from spreading on deep snowpacks. And then as far as nitrogen goes, what I like to see is a person use the MRTN, maximum return to nitrogen, N-rate calculator that's available on the Illinois Council on Best Management Practices website. Utilize that to manage your nitrogen application. We've actually got some dealers, and Evergreen FS is one of them. Todd Wibben has taken the N-rate calculator that we've put out, and he's utilizing it to do nitrogen plans field by field basis for his customers.
Historically speaking, farmers have looked at nitrogen in general as an application, using the technologies that they have, utilizing the information provided to them by land-grant universities, and applying the nitrogen at a specific time and location in their operation, and then they move on. I think the basic structure for him to consider, or her to consider, would be to look at what we call the 4 R's. What that does, it allows the farmer the freedom to utilize whatever source is readily available, whatever time is most appropriate within best management practices, whatever rates that we have discovered that are efficient yet allow for optimum yield, and wherever we put those. But there's going to be site-specific by the farmer.
We moved to stabilized anhydrous ammonia in the fall for utilizing a fall system. We've moved a lot of that application to a springtime application where the farmer does multiple applications. And in the last 5 years, if you just check with equipment manufacturers that manufacture side dress equipment, you'll find that there's been a large influx of farmers buying side dress equipment for putting nitrogen sources on after the corn comes up.
The Keep It for the Crop program is really a very unified mission statement that we have in Illinois agriculture. We want the nutrients that our ag retailers sell and that farmers utilize to stay in the crop to produce a more bountiful grain, more protein, more starch, what farmers are really looking for to increase their yields. And from a societal aspect, it's very important that we also recognize that society expects us to utilize our crop nutrients in the most proactive and productive way possible. So Keep It for the Crop is really a thought process of how we manage nutrients to make sure that when we select the proper nutrients, the timing of the application, the way that we apply them, has the best opportunity to keep that nutrient for the crop. We don't want it in the water supply. I think it's very important that people realize that that's not what a farmer wants either.
If somebody's going to look at the nutrient management for the first time, I think the biggest thing we saw locally that made the biggest impact for us was Waterways. You'll have people time and time again tell you that Waterways don't work because they cut down both sides, and we can take them and show them Waterways here that have been in place for up to 12 years and are still working fine. If they are properly installed, they have the proper width, they do work very well, and the whole point of them is you can stop those nutrients in that filtered grass as opposed to reaching your stream.
Cover crops can work into a nitrogen management system very well. What we can do with cover crops is we have an environment by which we have residual nitrogen. We have now a trigger point to pull that tool out of our toolbox, cover crops, and try to capture that nitrogen, immobilize it in an organic form, which is in plant material, and then hopefully have it release at the right time in the following year. So now we can put it into the economics of the farming operation. Farmers can get involved in these stewardship efforts simply by visiting with their local FS member cooperative and letting them know that they'd like to know more about stewardship and what they could do to focus on stewardship and improve water quality through using better farming practices. The more people that adopt these practices, the more we're going to show how these changes help.